powers and principalities.
There's so much fire inside me.
Tragedy struck when part of the largest hillside at the kosher rubbish dump collapsed.
It's going to be fun to see how he goes about approaching this game.
We table issues relating to the arts and entertainment for a riveting discussion, of course, without fear nor favor.
The question the presenter asked them was a dumb question. You need to speak the part and move.
Varied views. We agree to disagree.
So I would disagree with everything you said. I think that he's a smart guy. I think what he did.
No, but I also said he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I guess that I'm waiting for the what next.
Yeah, I don't think that we have to wait for what next.
It sometimes gets confrontational, but that's the beauty of the game.
Today you deny funny face. It's not my brother. Today you deny funny face. I don't know him. You don't know funny face. It's not my brother. You don't know funny face.
It's a package. We meet, we sit, we dialogue, we learn, we progress. My name is Benefo Huabin Abrantepa, a proud blogger, and this is my forum.
What can I say? Congratulations. The media these days is not easy. I think that you guys are doing your very best. And when I look at the team of people who are doing this work, I can only congratulate you and hope that this team will maintain and move on to achieve much greater things. But congratulations, you're doing a good job.
When I was coming to Nairobi, everyone was like, come to Carnivore, come and taste different kinds of meat. And so today I'm going to be having crocodile meat for the first time, and I'm going to be tasting other meat. And so I am currently here and you're coming along with me, so let's go. You got to let it go. guys, the place is really, really nice. Thank you. I really like Asante. I like the aesthetics of the place. Oh, this is different. I can't wait to enjoy my meal. Thank you. These are what? Sauces. All right. Thank you. When I was coming to Nairobi, everybody was like, come to Carnivore and come and eat crocodile meat. And so this has just got started. Have you had crocodile meat before? No. So this is your first time? Yeah. Okay, so this is salad and some beef sauce and some other kind of sauce. And so I'm having porridge as a starter. So this is how it looks like. It's soup. Soup? Yeah. Oh, tomato soup. Oh wow, she said it's tomato soup. And it actually tastes like potato soup.
This honey glazed pork ribs.
Honey glazed pork ribs.
Yes.
Okay.
Start off.
Yeah.
So here we bring everything one after the other. You eat as much as you can until you surrender the flag. No more meat.
No more meat. That's when we give up.
I'm fed enough. I'm fed up. I don't want to see any meat around me.
Okay.
So bring for me dessert menu. I bring the dessert menu. You have a choice of a dessert.
Okay.
And then you have some coffee or tea.
Oh, okay.
All. It's like a buffet.
So.
But it comes one after the other.
Okay, so I'm going to be trying the pork first.
Yes.
This is the pork.
Put it up.
So this is the pork meat.
Yes.
Okay.
Honey glazed.
Honey glazed pork. Okay.
Have the beef sausages.
Beef sausages.
Yes.
Okay.
Take the beef sausages. Go for the beef sausages. Sauce for the beef, tomato relish. Where from?
I'm from Ghana.
We get many Ghanaians. All of you?
No, I'm Kenyan. She's Kenyan.
That's great.
Guys, I think they are going to kill me here. Too much food.
You won't die. Chicken goes with garlic.
Chicken goes with garlic, right?
Yeah.
So show us the garlic.
The garlic is the white sauce.
So this is chicken. Chicken goes with the white sauce. And so there are a lot of options here. They have chili, white sauce, green. This is for the lamb. There's also salad. Guys, what I can't wait is to actually try the crocodile meat. That's the main reason why I'm here. So what it is, they're going to be bringing you the food as many as possible. So you eat. When you give up, then you can raise the Carnivore flag and say, you know what, I am done with my meal. So that's it. It's a very fancy restaurant. I like it. It's very, the aesthetics of this place is really, really, really beautiful. And so let's enjoy the meal. This is potatoes. You're invited.
sana.
Yeah.
This is called medicine. Dawa.
Medicine.
Yes, it's a medicine for all the ailments.
Okay.
It has some lime, sugar, ice.
Smell. Okay, what is this? Bamboo straw?
That's bamboo.
Bamboo straw.
A magic stick.
Oh, I see.
For stirring it.
For stirring it.
Yeah.
These are what?
The beef is on the chicken.
Chicken is on a hot plate.
Yeah. And a grilled wings. Barbecue pieces.
Oh, nice.
No sauce for us.
I think my plate is getting full. You guys, at this point, I think we just have to give up because the meat is becoming too much and it's all nice. I like the lamb a lot. The chicken too is nice. The pork, in fact, all the meat is nice. This is passion fruit and mango, right? What meat is this?
This is the ostrich meatball.
Ostrich meatballs.
Yeah, with crocodile.
Crocodile.
And some ox balls.
And crocodile.
Yeah, crocodiles and the ox balls.
So please give me some crocodile.
Okay. Is the crocodile?
Crocodile meat.
Yeah. What about the ox balls?
Yes, I want the ox balls. Guys, the moment of truth. I'm going to be tasting the crocodile meat and the ox ball. Oxtail.
Ox balls.
Ox balls. Ox balls, guys.
And the ostrich meatball.
Ostrich meatballs. Yes, please, that is. Thank you.
So for the ostrich meatball, we recommend wild berry.
What? Wild berry?
Yeah, for the ostrich.
So, for you, right?
Then garlic sauce, which is the white one.
The garlic sauce for the crocodile.
And tomato relish for the ox.
Tomato relish. Tomato relish.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. Yes, I'm about to try the crocodile meat for the first time. You said it goes with what? The white?
Garlic, yeah, the white.
The white sauce. Okay, so I'm going to try it with the white sauce, a little bit of the white sauce. And guys, you're going to be seeing this for the first time. It's nice. Does it come salty all the time?
Yeah, they marinate it.
Salty.
Yeah.
It tastes like duck meat.
Chicken.
No, like duck meat. That's the taste I get from it. Or maybe it's the white sauce. I love it. Please give me more.
Okay.
What's that?
Pork.
Pork. No pork. We've had enough of them meat. So this is a close-up of how it looks like. This is the oxtail. Funny enough, I don't really like the oxtail. It has a funny feeling, and it's very, very. It's like it melts. It has a back smelly taste. Like you see those goat meat that has a smelly back, right? That's it. It has. I don't know how to put it, but the crocodile meat, yes, it's nice. I like it. So guys, this brings us to the end of this vlog. I totally enjoyed my time at the Carnivore. I had good meat. I tasted crocodile meat for the first time. It was a good experience, but it's quite pricey for somebody who is coming here on a budget. Until next time on my YouTube video, on my YouTube channel, I love you all. Much love from Nairobi.
powers and principalities. There's so much fire inside me.
Tragedy struck when part of the largest hillside at the kosher rubbish dump collapsed.
It's going to be fun to see how he goes about approaching this game.
We table issues relating to the arts and entertainment for a riveting discussion, of course, without fear nor favor.
The question the presenter asked them was a dumb question. You need to speak the part and move.
Varied views. We agree to disagree.
So I would disagree with everything you said. I think that he's a smart guy. I think what he did.
No, but I also said he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I guess that I'm waiting for the what next.
Yeah, I don't think that we have to wait for what next.
It sometimes gets confrontational, but that's the beauty of the game.
Today you deny funny face.
It's not my brother.
Today you deny funny face.
I don't know him.
You don't know funny face.
It's not my brother.
You don't know funny face.
It's a package. We meet, we sit, we dialogue, we learn, we progress. My name is Benefo Abrantepa, a proud blogger, and this is my forum.
Continue thriving and obviously achieve higher, and everybody knows that even though I'm not working with them again, but my personal relationship with the owner and many of the management and the staff, it is where my heart is. So I wish them very well, but I'm sure that even without wishes they will still do very well.
Deputy Chief of Staff, Mwana Akeni President, but any take a so amba niti are ankawalari mwasana amba kumuto mukutra la Aliu Fawaz awe nana be muso nementa nginfo ala fogwaga bekebia pembi teneshi mwale managing director Ghana Water Company Limited Dr. Brahma Clifford awe minanta nginfo ala anchunya the presence mu kunumu na ala special development initiatives bonumu mwala na pagatia Suleimana awe na be lombo madam na so na la president ba assistant secretary to the president mukatra la lawyer Hamida Nuhu anyanomo aba awe na ntangin fo jira ala fukebi baba magwalam butu kebi na anyibu former MP for Salga South and former regional minister for the Savannah region Honorable Salfo Adam Brahma awe na biso menata nginfo ala anyibagwa bukebi a mware kagbaimbi na president make mo anyiba defense minister and nanal MP for Bimbila Honorable Dominic Nitiwo awe nana mbeso nementa mo nginfo alofu gwagwa bekebi amagwala mbutu bekebi na abor longashin nebeki dumambe MP Mwalo Honorable Lawyer Abu Jinapo Minister for Lands and Natural Resources awe neminanta nginfo jira na December almagwale MP na nkwe no president by Northern Regionary bomba sanyona always bomo kotona Monday to lastly aswe minta ngini nominanta ngini ala anyeba dabaya be MP combattre dabaya man cargo constituency neni an president remo agba Monday to awe no min batangin fo jira mogbal owribina no bi mbu mu kura na bo relation na nki member council of state representing the Savannah region Pengulewura Alaji Zakaria to maswe no memlare mala Said Muazu Jibril bimba kenyalma asan kushunga Savannah region.
Okay, regional minister Anyedi for Panga.
Tojira amba shenashi so anye wore shenkuna before kana na binde nyina kolona kabana so amba mna tanga wora mun kana na kadaga amuso anka bana ka putubiare chief imam pena. What is the linguist? No akoke aben katamo boye kabiso burebi nubunumuna bomoyende ambu biche sorry girlfriend che ambu buriche queen mothers bumagwa pinde envelope pare amberga mutuna ka fumu kadaka bondul kasa ol pumpunga to ogurugbaga yiram pinde amso asan kushunga.
Okay, regional minister Anyedi for Panga. We would like to continue with the introduction of dignitaries, and this time we want to introduce some of our chiefs, the key leaders. We have the Mabungura, he serves as the advisor to the Kwembiura. We have the Salgaura, Salifo, he's also one of the chiefs. We have the Jejiura, he's also present here. We have the Dusaura present. We have the Lambaura also present. We have Hajia Salah also present and representing or leading the Queen Mothers. We have Mr. Mahaman Isa, a founding father of the party, and if my history serves me right, the longest and the oldest founding father of the party in the Savannah region. We have Mr. Mahaman Isa, He's here. He's over there. Right? We also have the members of the Council of Elders. We have the chairman, Alaji Sule. We have Alaji Ismaila. They are all here. We have the clergy from the Muslim class, and we shall welcome the Pembiura to give us his address.
Nana Adudankwa Akufo-Addo, Honorable Revered Chiefs and Queen Mothers, Honorable MCs and DCs present, Head of Department, Institutions and other agencies, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, I and my people owe you a boundless expression of appreciation and gratitude for making East Gonja and my palace your second home. We want to believe that same will remain countless for now and after your tenure as a president of this republic, as we find you as a father and a friend. In you, Mr. President, your visits have been very purposeful and then beneficial. These are marked by the numerous development projects at various stages of completion within the municipality and the traditional area as a whole. Your Excellency, under your stewardship, the area has seen massive development projects and programs, including other policies. In the municipality, we now have a sustainable water supply project. As they say, if your mother is at the funeral, you know, food will not forbid you. We have our own son as the managing director of Ghana Water Company, and he has done well. And we are seeing potable water in this community. Let's clap hands for him. More than 3 ongoing market projects, including Bunjai, a modern Astros turf football pitch, which I'm informed will be commissioned by your good self today. A completed modern warehouse facility, a rice factory, almost completed, a regional feeder roads department office complex, ongoing Salaga Township roads, Tamale Mankango roads, and Deba Fufulso road, and many more. All these projects are taking place during your tenure. Mr. President, this development obviously will have positive impact on the life of my people, and I am in diverse way, and also give the municipality a facelift we've never expected. Your Excellency, we remain eternally grateful to you. Your Excellency, since development is an unending process, I call for your personal attention for the following requests. 1, we crave your indulgence that to use your presence to stimulate the Tamale Makango road contractor to speed up work, as the current pace of work is too slow for your distinguished leadership. The deteriorating state of the Salaga-Bao-Kafaba road is also worth mentioning. I say this because the Kafaba road, this is a place where every week there's armed robbers on that road. The road is so deplorable that nobody can pass the road safely. 2, we make a passionate appeal to you for your help to increase the admission quota for my nursing training college, that is the Kwemi Nursing and Midwifery. For my, which currently has received over 2,000 applications but we'll usually be given a quota of only 200. We have the infrastructure there, everything is okay. There are rooms for people, the students to live, but more people come to apply for the school. As I said, over 2,000 has applied this year, and at the end, they only give them only 200 students. A lot of spaces still remain empty. Your novel-free SHS policy has turned out many young graduates, and I appeal to you to consider establishing a university college of education in this area to help improve the teacher-people ratio, thereby improving the quality of education in the positive comment, Your Excellency, is on the promised land. Only invoke the presence of and guidance to serve Mother Ghana well. We wish them. What also worries us here most is about our hospital. They come on, they go, they come. We don't know the state, and we don't know where to even find out where this thing is coming from. A very big hospital, just by about some meters away from here. It has taken about 15 years today. We don't see the in and out of that hospital. And I pray your indulgence.
All right, Jara Asanu Kushunga. Oh, Santa Prekulo. Okay. All right, okay. So we'll go on. Jara Burebi Buruche Imam, ladies and gentlemen, please give.
Minister for the Interior, a Member of Parliament, Minister for Defense and Member of Parliament for Bimbila, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, a Member of Parliament for Damango, the Member of Parliament for Salaga North, members of the presidential delegation, the Pembewura Babangne Indefuso IV, Paramount Chief of Pembe Traditional Area, elders and divisional chiefs of the area. Pembewura, once again, I thank you. And I'm visit every year. So I've decided to visit. I was in Damango where I went to pay my kingdom. The facelift that has been given to Salaga. The second reason I did, and that was Salaga Minister. One
Savannah region too. Salga North, Palbinana, na Daboy Bombasara.
If we dominate
South and Tiso,
ambition is to work in such a way that in 2024, Salaga South will come back to the
South to Nanam Bitenta, Salaga South, Bokabina 20.
The Salaga
Shemfatanga Samona, Tamale, Salga, Makango, Langamukobo, Noshina Aton Lomanamana.
The network of roads in
Kabata, Okota, Bukabata, and Asafanyo, kilometers.
And it is intention over the and I'm sure that the roads that you have identified will be part of that. The expansion of the nursing and pick up with the Minister for Education when I get back to and very soon you'll hear about this hospital project.
District hospital, she's
had the benefit. Now that we have three, you can be
government to
for lands.
Mwala Daboyego MP.
Your
Energy Commission board member. Afakabala Nki.
In a very close and fraternal way over the neck. Remember when my good friend Bismarck, now who is the Kwembe Wura, became the Kwembe Wura.
I Jiraber Lamuter in Akona Yari. Man Kwembe Urubin Katabar Anotana, non longer moving
place in Kwembe.
Amosanaba, Fofulso, Nebekene.
For the young people of here to be able to play football. More initiatives. Thank you very much for the warm reception you have given me and my delegation. Thank you very much indeed.
We are most grateful to you for your inspiring speech. Thank you so much. Anyị bụ ura na tere ne Balare Monta, Kaboy chairman for Salaga South MPP in the person of Mr. Yusuf Alabi. He's also with us here. Chairman, you are most welcome. We continue with the program. What presentation he has for us? His Excellency, His Royal Highness the Kwembe Wura, well, here as your second home. He lacks words. If you were going to pass the 9th year, different, he has outside present. That notwithstanding, he also has a parcel of very beautiful design and a show of appreciation. Your Excellency, the Kwembe Wura is making a humble appeal, a special request to hang it here in his hall. All right, the cameras. Okay. Thank you so much. Shall we sit back? I think Bambaso Kakena, His Excellency, the President. The Mabura, who serves the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Adudankwa Akufo-Addo. Right? Okay, I think the President. Okay, I think.
Continue thriving and obviously achieve higher, and everybody knows that even though I'm not working with them again, but my personal relationship with the owner and many of the management and the staff, it is where my heart is. So I wish them very well, but I'm sure that even without wishes they will still do very well.
Residents of Botiano, Red Top, Adaklu, West Hill City, Weja SEC, and other adjoining communities have reportedly been living in fear these past few weeks because of activities which have been happening within this enclave. Today on Say It Loud, we'll be speaking to a chairman of the Landlords and Residents Association who will be giving us a dive into exactly what has been happening in these areas, which is causing these massive fear among residents. My name is Lord Harris Idosari. When we return from the break, we introduce our guest and delve into the conversation. Please stay tuned.
Hello, my name is Kofi Otri Dakwa, and I'm very excited to be part of the GhanaWeb Road Safety Campaign. Once you get behind your steer, you should know that you're not the only one that you're protecting. You're also protecting other people. So please conform to what you see on the road in terms of the speed limits, go by the speed limits. Another thing I'd like to say is that please, no matter how small it is in terms of alcohol, once you know you're going to drive, don't drink. So go ahead, do the right thing, save a life.
Welcome back. You're still watching Say It Loud with me, Lord Harris Idosari. Today, our guest is the chairman of the West Hills Landlords and Residents Association in the person of Reverend Redu Entry. Reverend Entry, why are residents of West Hills living in fear?
We've been living in fear for about a month now, apparently because of rampant earth tremor experiences we've been having. This place is one of the earmarked earthquake-prone zones.
That is true.
And sometime about a month ago, we've been experiencing the frequency is very high, and the intensity too is very high. So having at the back of our minds that here is an earthquake-prone zone and experiencing it frequently, more than past years.
What you have been used to.
What we are used to. And again, the intensity being so severe, naturally, everybody will be afraid and be panicking. So that is the kind of fear in which we are now. And initially, we thought that was a natural thing, not knowing it wasn't, because we never saw it reported in any of the national media platforms. And people began to report cracks of their properties, their walls, and their TVs falling from the walls on our association platforms.
Because of the tremor?
Because of the tremor. Then, once we also didn't pick any clue that has been reported by the Geological Survey and any of the media houses, we realized, the spread probably is not wide enough. But then we had an intel that this is as a result of the Chinese construction that is going on down there, because they are doing blasting of rocks. Down towards the mall, Western Mall.
Okay.
The opposite the Fortune City.
Okay. Which company is that?
It's a Sunda manufacturing company. They're doing massive earthworks there towards construction of a new factory. So one Saturday, last week Saturday night, we had a massive shake, a tremor. People reported, and as a leader, we quickly had to move to Sunda. I went there with one of our members who's a civil engineer, Engineer Obiatia, and Dan, one of our traditional leaders from Botiano who lives here. We went there, we approached the Chinese, they admitted that they did the blasting. It was around 7:30 p.m. They did the blasting. We demanded to have their permit. They declined giving us the permit. So right there, we reported the matter to the MC and the MP. I can say that the two gentlemen were magnanimous enough. They availed and convened a meeting between the MP convened meeting between the association and the managing director of Sunda.
Was the EPA involved in this? Was it
no,
reported to the
initially EPA wasn't involved. In fact, it happened Saturday. The bad day, the MP convened the meeting. He was very strict. We gathered there, and he requested Sunda Manufacturing Company to put a halt to it, to stop the blasting, and let us judge and find a better option of doing that, because he's received numerous complaints to the extent that an old woman who is bedridden had to be evacuated and sent to East Legon because of the rampant and the frequency of the tremor.
Oh, really?
Yes. And people's TV also fallen from the wall. The MD assured us, but they went, and that same day started blasting.
So we realized that you released a statement on Saturday.
Yes.
Did the MP and the MC have the meeting with management of the company after your statement or before the statement?
It was before the statement.
Oh, before the statement.
Yeah, before the statement. The first option, we went in there to engage them. They didn't comply. They kept doing it. We escalated it to the MC and the MP. The MP met us with the MD. They still didn't budge it. They kept doing it. So last Saturday's statement that I issued was as a result of another major tremor that we experienced as a result of the blasting.
Okay.
That made us trigger it to the media. So if they didn't respect the MP and the MC, let's take it to the media. Broader stakeholders, so to come to the attention of broader stakeholders, including the Minerals Commission that issued the permits to them, including geological survey. We are looking also up to EPA. This has become a national security matter, so national security and security apparatus also pick it. And then conversation, lasting solution to it. So that is what we did.
I see. You mentioned the fact that security agencies such as the NIB got involved. We earlier on got reports that some residents were picked up by these security agencies. Is there any truth in that, or has it come to your notice?
I'm not aware, but what I know is that the NIB agents too have been very phenomenal, and they called me to hear our side of it. They did a community tour to identify some of the cracks of people's property that they see, and they moved in with them, understanding and appreciating from the first-hand information the magnitude of the problem. They engaged the Sunda company to put an end, immediate seizure of the blasting, so that we can meet and find a better option, just as the MP also proposed. And they were firm on them, and that brought a stop to it. That was after we issued the statement. Yeah, so NIB has also been very phenomenal and very helpful in this direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prior to the meeting with management of the company, between you, the MC, the MP, and the management, had there been any activities of the company which was detrimental to residents in the area? Because it's a residential area, and with the company not a company at that not being far away, what are some of the effects that it has had on?
Before I come to that, let me make this clear. Yesterday, under the auspices of the Municipal Chief Executive Officer, we had a stakeholder meeting, including the NIB, the Assembly, the residents, the Sunda, and the Minerals Commission. And we've agreed on a roadmap.
Okay.
The Minerals Commission should come up with an impact assessment pending a resolution, so that we can chart a better way of the Chinese doing it, not to impact on the residents and people's property. And in the meeting, we agreed that that will be done, a committee will be formed that will be meeting to resolve this thing before we come up with a better way and acceptable means for the Chinese to do it in a wholesome manner. Based on the meeting and the confidence we have also in the meeting, we don't want to undermine it. We cannot give much, but let me say it on record that we have approached the MC, the MP, and the Chinese themselves on the unsafe way of doing the earthworks and their normal operational activities. One, they are doing massive earthworks, and it involves about 20 to 30 trucks that cross from the site to the laydown where they dump the topsoil and the rocks. They cross the main road that we use. Instead of a normal safety management protocol, putting just one person there with a green and red flag to regulate their trucks and other road users, it's not done. So the loaded trucks, when they are coming and you do not do defensive driving and stop when you even have right of way, they can just crash you. You can interview the taxi drivers around to find out another road user. It's so terrible. We've reported to them over and over. We are not seeing results. The diaper factory there, they burn the waste product openly.
They own a diaper factory as well?
Yeah, diaper factory down there. They burn the waste product openly. Instead of using industrial incinerator to manage the waste, they burn it openly with smoke daily over years.
How long have they been?
They generate massive dust. Instead of using water buzzer to water it so that the road becomes what? The dust become controlled. They don't. You complain, instead of even, they will come and do it, but not with a water buzzer, but with, what do you call, concrete mixer. And that will make the road even worse off. So clearly, there are a lot of challenges they are posing, and they are also not cooperating, not at all.
How long have residents been putting up with this?
Oh, for this factory, 3-4 years ago. So about 4 years. About 4 years ago.
And during this period, you have reported to the EPA, MC, and MP, and despite all the reports, nothing has been done.
You know the typical Chinese philosophy and culture of lack of respect for indigenes and local governments, as clearly demonstrated at the Galamsey activities that we all see in this country. The MC have gone to them several times. MP have spoken to them, the previous and the current MP, they wouldn't mind. They don't mind. So my worry is EPA active in monitoring these factories? Is the Industrial Inspection Bureau or division within the Ministry of Trade working at all? Do they come around and they see that the waste products are being burnt openly?
You mentioned that you have videos, and so it means you obviously have some visual evidence. Have you taken up and reported to the EPA with some of these?
Not directly to the EPA with the visual, but in terms of report, we've done it, but we've reported to the MC and the MP. Even the current issue, the MP has notified the Chief Executive Officer of the EPA.
Okay.
Yes, I've also cited the letter that invited the EPA to come for the meeting that we had the stakeholder. They didn't show up.
The stakeholder meeting you had?
Yes, EPA didn't come.
Okay, and did they give any reason?
No reason to my best of knowledge. Probably the MC will be able to tell. But such an important issue, you cannot gloss over. You cannot treat it as if it's not important. No. Look at the enclave, look at the kind of buildings and the number of people who live here. Massive, wide area. If you allow them, yes, they've been burning it openly. When are they going to stop? Is that a normal practice? Can this be done in China? Can this be done in any proper environment that human beings, life of human beings are valued? No.
Okay, yeah, you indicated earlier that Chinese culture, I think it would be a general statement if you say that it's a normal thing for them to be involved in some of the things that you have mentioned? Because I believe there are some other Chinese companies in the country that are obliging to the lay down rules and all that.
Oh, the reason why I'm saying Chinese culture, if you understand business language and practices and culture around business setup, clearly that of America, Australia, Canada is entirely different from that of Chinese. The Chinese one we all know is ruthless. They don't give respect to human beings, and they can do. Chinese still believe that, hey, we can pay our way through and do whatever we want. Look at what is happening at the Galamsey side.
But
and they also know that, hey, after all, Ghana, we can just do it and go.
No, but we still have some legit ones who are doing the
Can you cite one?
But
I've given enough evidence to the contrary that we've lived here with these people over years, and that their practices. It's what even just one person to hold 2 flags for safety of these massive earthworks, they've glossed over it. We've said it time and countless. They are not even bringing such a person there to regulate it. What kind of culture is that? I've worked with American company before. They don't do that.
Talking of
safety is utmost important, and the philosophy that nothing is what is worth doing in an unsafe manner. None.
So, from your experience?
From my experience, as compared to that of the Chinese. 2, clearly, a civil business entity would have done massive engagement of the people before starting even the earthworks, before starting the blasting. None of this nature. It's about safety. It's about their culture. That's how they are. Again, and instead of applying our laws so that they are regulated, none. We push for their EIS, environmental impact statement, to know the risk, the disturbance they've caused to the road.
Risk assessment and all that.
The risk assessment, mitigation methods or strategies to solve all these problems. We didn't see one. They are not showing them to us. Is it not a culture of Chinese? Coupled with Ghana allowing anything to happen? But we've indicated clearly to them in a civil way that we will not countenance their behavior any longer. Because we are experiencing it. EPA is not experiencing the smoke daily basis. Our children are traveling on the road to school. We are also traveling on the road to work. We are not experiencing, EPA and other stakeholders are not experiencing the risk. We are. And the laws of Ghana gives us the right to defend ourselves. It is enshrined even in what? In our constitution. It's entrenched in our national anthem. So we've told them, we've indicated to them in a nice way with respect that no longer are we going to tolerate that. We won't sit down for fatality to happen before we rise up. We will not also sit down for them to what? To impact us significantly with the smoke before what? We rise up. Now is the time. For the down 4 years, they've taken it freebie. Going forward, they must do the right thing.
After the consultative meetings, the stakeholder meetings, were there timelines drawn as to when to expect some?
There were timelines drawn and specific decisions reached. EPA, Mineral Commission is supposed to come up with a, what do you call it, impact assessment.
Okay.
Then we all, number 2, Sunda supposed to stop the blasting. This blasting is sitting at the center of a peri-urban. This is not a peri-urban, an urban environment. It's sitting at the center of urban environment. And this place is a residential area, even where they are working, until it was recently rezoned to be a light industrial area. So they came to meet us here. We've welcomed them, we've lived without any hostility. Because we appreciate the national development goals of the country. Ghana must develop, people need employment fund, but it doesn't mean that it should be done out of law. It should be done within the context of law and safety. Giving us employment and killing the rest. Giving us employment and subjecting us to a higher risk of possible or probable earthquake. Is it a good deal we should go in for? No. I believe that there are better engineering options to do their blasting. And just as I said, I don't want to undermine the committee's work that we are about to do. We've indicated to them clearly they should also respect that going forward, they need to live with us in a humane and civil manner.
Okay. Any additional thoughts or any other words you want to add up?
I will thank you, and I give her a commendation to the MP and the MCE and the NIB agents. They've been phenomenal in solving this problem. Over and over, they've approached it with respect to this blasting and evidence that they've seen. I mean, they've moved in swiftly to solve it, and the Minerals Commission gentleman Collins too, I mean, when confronted with the realities, I've also realized the need for them to halt. And that is what we are all looking out for. We don't hate them, they don't hate us. So we are optimistic that we find a solution to it, and we live peacefully with Sunda.
Yeah, but before I go, in the events that after the meetings, a solution, an amicable solution is not obtained, what is the West Hills Landlords and Association going to do about it?
My understanding to your question is that if you do not find amicable solution, it means that Sunda is not living within the context of the laws of the country. That is how I see it. Because you are blasting to build your factory. And building of your factory is destroying people's factory and structural integrity. Stop for us to find a better option. Say that no, you do it. The permit has conditions. Clearly, they've breached the permit conditions. As when we met yesterday, clearly they've breached some of the permit conditions. It's obvious. In that context, we also exercise our right within the context of the laws of the land. We protect our properties. We protect our families. And protect our lives within the context of what? Of the law. That one I can assure you.
All right. Thank you for these revelations, Reverend Radio Entry. We'll see how the authorities will react to this, and we'll be following keenly and see how that goes.
You are most welcome. It is said that in secrecy evil thrives. Once you've unearthed them to the whole world, certainly I know the sobriety that has brought to bear on Sunda people will continue to have a positive outcome. So we are also grateful to you. Thank you as well.
Today we have been speaking with the chairman of the West Hills City Landlords and Residents Association, who's been sharing with us some adverse effects that a construction company in the area has been having on structures here. Essentially, he's saying that after meetings with the management, the MC, MP, and Minerals Commission, he's hoping that the right thing will be done so that the sanity and safety of residents in this area can be assured. We are currently at the Dunkuna taxi rank, otherwise known as the Malcolm taxi rank, where we are going to engage some residents who are essentially taxi drivers about how the activities of the company that we spoke about earlier is affecting them. And Pacho, you're frozen?
Pacho, me the Yausechi.
Okay, Mr. Sechi, well, sure, as a resident, company, how does that affect you?
The affecting what happened, say, Equino. Saka Sankasiano, or when I'm someone to Mwasi. And yellow do taxi for yellow do not aircon, and I feel almost our son will boom through the Guaso. Sample the only one. No more Babe Guaso, no maybe Sion, no Futruno, or move your Guaso, and we say no at the area, and the coronavirus Nabano, a bit me are high. Yaquano sing yet. Quano send commotion no Muses or Motion no Muses, Taylor Cassiancasano, or Mubon Futro Guaso, a high, Tiasra Bank. Omomra mabuan kan to me say na cross kwan no ne yenye ba bi mfa nti esram aban mra mahwen na ye mobo pa.
Apart from the fact that taxi driver no otia
me mete area me here mete red top baby yellow du kon okay ya hoye dunku na ho na yete
nti yete say almost blasted fencing. Almost blasted will be Saturday, and it caused something like an earthquake. How did that affect people? Whenever say if you and I say if you something happened to you.
And not the blasting the Koya media and mammy. Okay. Me who so.
What you emphasize?
It's a red top dog, Dunkina red top. Okay. A while soon a more years a blasting. We feel one son away we are red top into me media and mammy.
Okay.
So I'm blasted born. It's me matter says the earthquake as shaking. It's me matter says the earthquake man as shaking. The one who say a dining air also. It is sometimes nobody who say a bah. This is the earthquake, no. So we come no, come on one, but there's a near earthquake now. Come on, no more blasted, a bone into Nema, sa shaking, no, eba.
How long now? Never say CC.
Oh man, now buying once in a broom way. Go on my week, no, not betting your baby 2 times. Oh man, no, my jaya once in a broom way, na aba. As a earthquake, no. Best thing, be the blasting and they are serious. So now, better say dining is shaky.
I say, Money pain. When you go far, I say,
okay, me so far, no, maybe we so be as a BBS will be near my but what plug go are the be near them to say, one had the better no free just say. Because blasting is serious. Oh, says see okay, I don't know, said the SSA. The near money they were blasting a con and come inform me a crumble said they are coming to do no more baby say crumble now away. So more baby saying to know better. But I told the one what to say. BB shaky diner, won't I say? And then a higher.
Also, how now? I not affect you saying.
Okay, maybe I'll say blasting no more and actual blasting maybe I want to say any watch you into about fit or more around. South of now blasting about fit but yeah, we go if I say blasting or ha. Yeah, your baby say more niche. Okay. So what I say? To hand and free anything, yeah. But that's some of the blasted the enemy, yeah, bow to me stop here. Say, Yingina, Mommy, blast up a blast near Bichum. Ah, sanity. And I may have quite a hammy pan say, Sir, Sunda Fortune or Honor, a Chinese Fortune or Honor, or one no more Fortune. And almost no one who saw Toga Casino. Yes, I Tirano, or one almost at your neighbor Paco. But there we are some work of fat Tipacas, so to a year, a quadasa. But that's the other. Well, we now mail road or corner. Not Tipaka or no feet or baby situation, so one drama. No qua speed into your list with one about working. A fan. This is the main problem I face. And I say, call your officer, Yakano. Go ahead. At good or carry to me, send us and Sikano. Bear too soon will be alpha. Now, a quano as a home tea. You so try to me, Yajma. Open say you just a man said to do in your packet. Can't be to me, can't be to me. Yakwana say, I don't qua, Massa. O can't about to pump from Kosovo. Just a packet canon. But and I say, I was on there to say, or more mobile, you say, I don't buy. A boss is paying a pong because one year quite very bad. Yeah, to me, I say a pong. What I say. But Palace had the best continue. Into me, people say, Sir. Sunda for no Omancasa Chom Davison, a yet Davos near Kuta Davison, and it's at Pacasno. Some more moon say, yeah, buy a number million nearby. Into who was walk or saw in us or band say, I want an alcohol. I don't want alcohol. Into certain of it to continue, but not tax name chum. Every own them can, but every own the problem or they bound to another mirror. Now, what ban was son who, another condition was son a condition of blue gas. No a chump whom we are listening overcome, Jinama. But I say we can apply. Yes, I'm going to serious case.
The same thing, Susan, because Osha Kwana Kwanin, because I bought to learn to me bow. I'm sure to go boy. Because say like yourself, by Sabambe, because in the quantity, you know, about taxing classes, CCO.
Omuni Obia, Ojinawa, or the Abia trafficator, directing myself.
WOB and yours because I don't know, meaning there because. So my basic company say I'm not putting in your quiet. I don't see the reason why. It's you. And things are putting in your quiet because about going so talk ultimate. It's so to me like can't me go to me back. Until you saw by say ultimate by
Well, so those were some concerns raised by taxi drivers here at the Malcolm taxi rank. Essentially, they are saying that they want some level of sanity as far as the usage of the road is concerned. They are pleading that in as much as both the drivers and the company trucks are using the road, they should be moderate in the way they speed, and they want the roads to be fixed and things to be taken care of. My name is Lord Harris Idwasari, and this has been another edition of Say It Loud.
So do you know how long the company has been in existence? 22 years?
No, I didn't. It's when you reached out to us and mentioned that you're 22 years, and I think that's shocking. I've followed, GhanaWeb for quite a while, more than a decade, but I wouldn't have pegged you guys for having been in existence for more than 2 decades, and I think that's really positive for you guys. You've served the nation really well with the kind of contents that you've delivered to your readers over the past years, and I think that it's been a pleasure, having worked with you. For me at Soccerbet, and for every other reader out there, I'm sure they'll be really pleased to know that you've been in existence for 22 years. We want to, from here at Soccerbet, what we want to say to you at GhanaWeb, to your management, to your staff, is congratulations for this particular feat. It's been an amazing journey, I'm sure, and I want to wish you all the best going forward for the years to come. Everything that you do, may it work well for you. May you go beyond your boundaries and continue to serve the entire populace.
Late Hilal Imam's wife. As to how much is given to her, we don't know. Konodu Ajiman Rollins, she's alive. We don't know how much is given to her, we don't know. But the first debate that this commission brought about payment of salary, equating it to a cabinet minister, when it came to the public domain, some of us are of the view that there is the need to look at the constitutional provision. Concerning the Conversion People's Party, if you are having a wife, every worker in Ghana knows very well that the husband is the caretaker of his wife. So if a president, we are paying you from the taxpayers' money, and you think your wife has another role it plays, first and foremost, what is the official services that the wives of presidents or vice presidents render to the country? It could be formation of NGOs, which might be their personal activities. For example, Nana Konadu Ajiman Rollins, she has 31st December Women's Movement. She's also helping this country in another way, but she is in full charge of that particular activity. I think consolidating it, Ghanaians should debate it. It is far better we talk about it, analyze it, and ask ourselves, should we stop or we should continue? If we are continuing, it's better we pay it in a form of salary than paying allowance, when allowance could even be more monumental than salary. Somebody will pay you an allowance of billion cedis without using the name allowance and without using the name salary. And let me tell you, my regret and sadness as a member of the party or as a Ghanaian is that no day did we get Auditor General report citing amount of money given to the first ladies. So it means that we've been hiding certain documents from Ghanaians. So CPP is saying that it shouldn't be MPP thing, NDC thing, or CPP thing. It's about Ghanaian. So let's sit down and debate it. If we think once upon a time we were paying it without regularizing it, this time we want to organize it well, we should debate it. What are the merits and the demerits? Is there even the need? The problem of this country, they're pushing laws without telling us the essence of it. And that is where we have problems with. If one day she becomes our flag bearer and she wins as a president of this country, a husband demanding something like this, it must be constitutional provision. That's why we are saying, without any contradiction, that let's debate this issue. Is it necessary to pay? If it's necessary, then it's better we organize it well. So that it will not be like, I don't like this former first lady, I don't like her husband,
and therefore she's sitting on the fence. I won't give her anything. Today, only God knows how much goes to Konodu, Nadu, Fulera, Teresa, how much goes to... We don't know. We need to organize it so that Auditor General reports can cite it. And we know that from the consolidated fund, this is the amount that has been used to pay first ladies. This is a very good debate.
In the past few days, my office has received thousands of calls from the rank and file of the party, the media and party sympathizers, home and abroad. We have called this press conference to address and give assurance of our firm resolve, like I said, to stand firm and remain unmovable. I, Nana Frimpoma, chair and leader of the Convention People's Party, wish to state emphatically, categorically, that there is no cause for alarm within the rank and file of the party, and that any internal wrangling will be dealt with using the party structures. Yes, indeed, they are back again. Proponents of CPP distractors are at it again, but this time, the party will not tolerate the defeatist theories. The only alternative for Ghana, as we stand today, as said by the current, the former president, who said that it is the solution to this country, the problem is in the hands of CPP and Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and therefore the only solution to the problems that we face in this country is in the hands of CPP. We are making a clear call to all who have left to come back to CPP. We are making a clear call. Everyone that went because of the internal wanglings and the people, the very same internal people who are here, enemies of progress, that all they do is to pull CPP down. When CPP is taken up, we are asking all of you to come back. CPP is back again, and as a leader of that CPP, we are taking you to victory. We are not turning back. We are poised. We have made modest gains. It is very clear everywhere. Over the years, the smaller supposedly parties wait till election. We won't wait. We care about the people of this nation, and we will be there with them. We are going to be there with them because we believe. We believe in Ghana. We believe in the people. We believe in the youth. We believe in the women. We believe in all Ghanaians, both here and in the diaspora. And we are not relenting. We are going to be with you by your side. The first thing we are going to do is what we are doing today, is to stand firm and say that the very reasons for which others left, we won't leave. Thank you. That the gains that we have made, we will stand here and make it become better. That there's no turning back for us. Yes. And we believe that as we fight with what we are doing and we build the CPP as it's going, everyone, because they all love the party. They all love this party. And they all left for other regions. Regions that are happening today. 1 year after elections, there's a petition. These are things that would just let you walk away. But we are staying. And once we stay, we overcome that spirit. That spirit of pull him or her down when things are working. And once that spirit is overcome, we know that all the good hearts that left will come back. That's all I can say. I don't think this is a forum for it, because we want to give him an extensive education. You understand? I want want to engage Paul Adumako Ochri, it is not just making statements in the air.
Yes.
And you just sweep it like that. Some statements, when you don't have the facts, we will give them the facts. The Ghana people didn't make the coup. We will give them the classified, CIA classified documents. That shows why the CPP was overthrown. And then he will understand why after the overthrow, all the 400 factories that were geared towards development and the independence, economic independence, that would have made us Ghana and our youth today be a better citizen, have accommodation, have jobs, have a working country, not be filled with the filth and what we see today, the level of corruption. Yes. Why did it happen? That is what we need to dialogue with him. So I don't think this will be the platform. He himself knows that those are just paper things that he was just saying. There is no way, because even his father and Nana, what was his name? The former president, stated that it is the accelerated growth, which for us is baseless. And you know that, because you can't say that building factories and truncating a factory, building a factory, so that young people can have jobs to do. Having, agric, having large-scale farms. You have a jute factory, you have cotton farms. You have tire factory, you have tire industry. You have tire farms. You have glass factory, you have everything. You have meat factory, you have cattle ranch. You have low-cost accommodation. The largest of it all. That has become, we had the largest poultry farm. Communities, everything. And how can you say that when these factories has been turned into, go to Kumasi and you realize that the factories have been turned into retail points for factories in China.
Ghana Airways have been turned to restaurants.
You understand? Then you know that there's no basis. There's no basis, because I believe that the young people of this country, the old, have intelligence. Yes. And we can add. We can add and know that 1 + 1 is 2.
Yes.
So if somebody says it's definitely 6, you tend to question. So we need to understand why he's saying that 1 + 1 is 6. So it cannot be discussed here. We would engage him. And we are throwing a challenge to him. That I'm ready to engage him.
Democracy in the sub-region, in Africa, and across the world is under severe strain. In a recent webinar organized in May by the Kofi Annan Foundation, they captured the state of affairs as follows, and I quote, according to the Freedom House Freedom in the World Report 2021, of the 12 countries with the most significant decline in democracy year on year, 5 were in West Africa. The Economist Intelligence Unit's latest Democracy Index 2020 showed that only Ghana and Cabo Verde still qualify as fully fledged democracies in the region. A key feature of this decline in compliance with democratic norms is reflected in the conduct of elections within the sub-region. The Kofi Annan Foundation abstract to the webinar notes, and again I quote, reports of widespread electoral irregularities, the arrest of pro-democracy activists and journalists, and the killing of peaceful protesters in demonstrations over the last 3 years in West Africa are grounds for concern. There is a growing distrust in the independence, neutrality, and impartiality of election management bodies. Indeed, friends and colleagues, out of the 9 or so elections, and this includes parliamentary and local elections and presidential elections, organized within the sub-region, one can say that only Liberia passed off without significant challenges. Benin, Côte d'Ivoire, Cameroon, Ghana, Togo, and the special cases of Burkina Faso, Mali,
and Niger all suffered major problems. Indeed, this backsliding into the dark days of authoritarian rule, sham elections, human rights abuses, are now complicated by the explosion of new technology and new media, creating new threats of misinformation and disinformation deployed to negatively influence elections. Just last week, CDD Ghana and the Kofi Annan Foundation launched and discussed the Kofi Annan Foundation Commission report on protecting electoral integrity in the digital age. There was another launch that was also done in Abuja, proud to that. Now, in the executive summary of the report, the Commission observes, and I quote, "New information and communication technologies pose difficult challenges for electoral integrity. In recent years, foreign governments have used social media and the internet to interfere in elections around the globe. Disinformation has been weaponized to discredit democratic institutions, to sow societal distrust, and attack political candidates. Social media has proved a useful tool for extremist groups to send messages of hate and to incite violence. Democratic governments strain to respond to a revolution in political advertising brought about by ICTs."
Meeting of the West Africa Election Observers Network is a network of domestic election observers within the sub-region. We are in our 11th year. It was established because the importance of domestic election observers, I think, has shown throughout the successes that many countries have chopped, particularly with protecting election integrity and peaceful elections in the sub-region. So we often do meet to look at things that we can improve on, how we can even strengthen our instruments for monitoring. But I think everybody recognizes that in the last couple of years, there's a lot of challenges that have emerged. This particular work that we are doing now is focused on the rise of misinformation and disinformation, particularly because you have new technologies, but also you have new media that are combining. And if you listen to what Mr. Francis Oke, who is the head of the Election Assistance Division at ECOWAS, was saying, the challenge is really around the ease and the speed with which you can do misinformation and disinformation. It's always been there, but now with new technology, it makes it even faster. So the damage is already done before you can react. For election observers, that become quite a very difficult environment to operate in, because you can go around and monitor the election, but the election and people's reaction and responses might be influenced by something completely outside of your knowledge or control. So we have to understand the environment, reassess our instruments that we deploy for elections so that we can be better prepared to create a more conducive environment for good election outcomes. So that's what in the next 2 days, that's what we want to deliberate on, see how we can play a role in trying to counter this new threat, to electoral integrity. And you already seen examples of government shutting down internet or social media platforms. But if you recall in my speech, I said that the challenge is really how we strike the balance. I think everybody recognizes both the threats but also the opportunities. If you think of it in economic terms, if you shut down Facebook, the number of people who have just generated businesses or rely on that platform to do their trading is huge. So the benefits are there, but the threats are also there. So how do we strike a balance? And that has to do with not just the government, but also the platform, those who control the platform, like social media, Facebook or WhatsApp, and having a discussion as to what should be the best kind of regulation to ensure that we don't are not overwhelmed by the threats, and then we can take advantage of the opportunities.
The sensitization about and advocacy about the AFCFTA is a shared responsibility between the state parties, the countries, and ourselves as a secretariat. Every country that I go to, I meet with the private sector. Tanzania, I met with the private sector in Arusha, in Dar es Salaam, and also in Zanzibar. In Gabon, I met with the private sector. In Zambia, I met with the private sector. In Egypt, all countries in Kenya, to make the private sector aware of the AFCFTA and its benefits and its risks, as well as to so that there is an awareness about how do we feature as the private sector in this AFCFTA. What is our role as the private sector? So this is something that we have been doing as a secretariat, and that I have been doing also as part of my responsibilities. It's a very important part of our work, because it is, as I say many times, it is the private sector that will benefit from this agreement. It was not negotiated for governments, it was negotiated for the private sector, because it is the private sector that creates jobs, not governments. And so it's very, very important that the private sector is aware that there are export opportunities that this agreement creates. We have a market of 1.3 billion people with a combined GDP of 3.4 trillion United States dollars, as you know. And so if you are in West Africa, you now have an opportunity at expanding into a new market in Southern Africa, in East Africa, in North Africa, and so on. So it is very, very important that the private sector is part of implementation. That is why later in the year, along with our strategic partner, Afrexim Bank, we will be hosting here in Accra an AFCFTA business forum for the whole continent, of course, but that is an annual event, that is going to be an annual event that will seek to address exactly the point that you make about raising awareness of the private sector about the AFCFTA as a complementary step to what governments are already doing nationally in terms of sensitization. And the theme of the annual general meeting was the African Continental Free Trade Area. And in a very short space of time, we have been able to concretize one of the outcomes of that conference, and that is to develop an action plan for how we are going to work together. And so I want to express my deep appreciation to the African Shippers Council for the contribution that they are making in the implementation of the AFCFTA. As the Chief of Staff was saying, the challenges related to transit, trade facilitation, movement of goods, these are challenges that are some of the reasons why intra-Africa trade is so low. Transportation of goods, clearance of goods through customs and customs procedures are very important, very, very important factors in the implementation of this agreement. As a secretariat, we are not in a position to do this alone, to address these challenges alone. we will have to work with the private sector. And that is why the engagement and the partnership and the collaboration with the Union of African Shippers Council is so very, very important. Because the council is on the ground, their members are on the ground, they know best where the challenges are when one is seeking to trade across borders on the African continent. Transport infrastructure, trade facilitation, as I've just said, are key to achieving the objectives of the AFCFTA, and will require that we work together with all stakeholders, private and public stakeholders, at a regional level as well as at the continental level. UNECA, the United Nations Economic Commission, projects that with enhanced trade facilitation, the AFCFTA has the potential to increase intra-Africa trade by 22% of total trade by the year 2023. I think we should aim to double intra-Africa trade by the year 2035, when it is estimated that the AFCFTA will be at advanced stages of implementation. And so these milestones, the year 2022 and the year 2035, are very, very important milestones as we measure the impact of trade facilitation, of transit and customs procedures on the flow of goods across the African continent.
Mr. President, your visit have been very purposeful and then beneficial. These are marked by the numerous development projects at various stages of completion within the municipality and the traditional area as a whole. Your Excellency, under your stewardship, the area has seen massive development projects and programs, including other policies. In the municipality, we now have a sustainable water supply project. As they say, if your mother is at the funeral side, you know, food will not forbid you. We have our own son as the managing director of Ghana Water Company, and he has done well. And we are seeing potable water in this community. Let's clap hands for him. more than 3 ongoing market projects, including Bunjai, a modern AstroTurf football pitch, which I'm informed will be commissioned by your good self today. A completed modern warehouse facility, a rice factory, almost completed, a regional feeder roads department office complex, ongoing Salaga Township roads, Tamale Mankango roads, and Deba Fufulso road, and many more. All these projects are taking place during your tenure. Mr. President, this development obviously will have positive impact on the life of my people, and I am in diverse way, and also give the municipality a facelift we've never expected. Your Excellency, we remain eternally grateful to you.
Once again, I thank you very much for opening your palace to me and my delegation to come and pay this visit. And I'm always happy to come here to visit you, especially as you turned out to be the prophet, the election prediction prophet. The country and I are looking forward for your prophecy for 2024. I'm very happy to hear about the facelift that is being given to Salaga and the development initiatives that are successfully taking place here. So I'm looking forward to working in a very close and fraternal way over the next 3.5 years to consolidate your rule here in the Cueva area. People will remember when my good friend Bismarck, now who is the Cueva Wura, became the Cueva Wura. That's why I've come here to inspect the ongoing town roads reconstruction that is taking place in Cueva, and also to commission the new AstroTurf park for the young people of here to be able to play football. There will be many more initiatives on the way. Powers and principalities.
There's so much fire inside me.
Tragedy struck when part of the largest hillside at the kosher rubbish dump collapsed.
It's going to be fun to see how he goes about approaching this game.
What can I say? Congratulations. The media these days is not easy. I think that you guys are doing your very best. And when I look at the team of people who are doing this work, I can only congratulate you and hope that this team will maintain and move on to achieve much greater things. But congratulations, you're doing a good job.
Welcome to the Lowdown on GhanaWeb TV. This program covers everything relevant in Ghana, from the hard truth to the facts and fears. My name is Ni Akwe Ismail Akwe. Today we are out of our studio and we are in the office of our guest who runs a newly created ministry whose mandate is to ensure state-owned enterprises make profits, among others. This ministry has been called nebulous, a confusion and even useless. We will speak to the man in charge of the Ministry of Public Enterprises after this break. Welcome back. You're watching The Lowdown. My name is Ni Akwe Ismail Akwe. Our guest is the Member of Parliament for Ifia constituency in the Western region and the Minister of Public Enterprises, Mr. Joseph Kujo. Welcome to The Lowdown, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
It's quite an interesting office. It looks new, but it's in a very old building. How does it feel being here?
Yeah, it feels good.
Feels good?
The environment is very serene. Yeah.
And you don't have a computer in front of you. It's something
technology today, unless you don't believe that technology has changed into the palm, and that I do stuff
on your phone.
Yeah, yes. And where you need a computer, I work from the house on that.
That's quite interesting. And what's your first impression of the ministry after you took over? Because you're coming from the Energy Ministry as a deputy, and now you are the substantive minister for public enterprises here. So what's your first impression?
You started on a very interesting note, and that I call it the pre-vetting era. Pre-vetting. That when the President of the Republic, His Excellency, had nominated me for appointment as Minister for Public Enterprises. And, you know, the initial response from the opposition, I remember that loud voice that described the appointment as nebulous, useless, needless or useless. And confusion. I remember all those. But that was the pre-vetting. So on the day of the vetting, when they listened to what the president had envisioned and the problems to be solved, they changed their position. And so you remember I was giving unanimous endorsement for my appointment. So being here, we're here to solve the problems that have been identified to bedevil the state-owned enterprises. And I believe as the conversation goes on.
Yes, we'll go into those issues.
Exactly.
And I'm sure there are a lot of problems that you faced so far, or you've seen so far on your desk.
I knew the problems. The president had known the problems. Ghanaians are aware of the problems. But this is the first time it's attained that presidential attention to create an institutional framework to solve their problems.
Did you have any private conversation with the president before you were given this role? Because looking at your background, I know you have an accounting background or finance background, and now you've been asked to take over this huge ministry. Did you have any conversation? Did you assure the president of anything before?
Niakwe, right?
Yes.
I didn't. That comes as a surprise to myself. That I've been in consulting, business consulting, investment consulting, management consulting. My last job before coming into politics was investment manager for Ghana Cocoa Board for 8.5 years. Then I was consulting for even Ghana Stock Exchange, my private business, and a lot of business advisory consultancy. I have known the problems, just like every Ghanaian has known the problems. And from the consulting viewpoint, the kind of solutions we had envisaged to deal with the problems were what the president incidentally communicated to me when I had been nominated to take up this position. It was a short engagement when he had penciled me for appointment. And then within 5 minutes, he tells me of his vision. And the vision coincides with what I had known over the years, that this is what Ghana has to do to solve these problems. So it's that meeting of minds, positive and pleasant surprise to me when I was nominated. So the vetting, it played out that I actually have a very deep understanding of the issues. So here I am.
So does the
dealing
task
with them.
and the role come to you as a heavy one, or is just not a challenge for you at all?
In fact, let me say, if it were not a challenge, if the task is light, I wouldn't be happy because I like challenges. I am not used to routines. Are you getting me? When a job becomes a routine, I start feeling bored about the job. But the enormity of this challenge is what excites me. Because in that case, it offers me the opportunity that if I'm able to contribute to solving this problem that bedevils the specified entities, then I have had a productive time in this position. So it is a challenging situation. It calls for people who like challenges. And I see the president himself also trying to deal with these challenges as coincidental for all of us to solve this problem for the country.
So far, we've mentioned problem like 15 times or more, if I'm
but
not
what are they?
And the problems are there, but we'll talk about the problems soon.
Very
now,
good.
There's an issue of your ministry being more of entering into the Ministry of Finance's role. Is there any clash that you are dealing with? And how are you, solving that situation? Or there isn't at all?
Who is saying that? If somebody is saying that to you, tell the person that the person is yet to understand the issues at stake. It is not my ministry eating into Ministry of Finance's role. You know, we have had these specified entities over the years. Today, I can put a figure to them. We can count about 175 of them, but in categories of 52 state-owned enterprises, SOEs. 52 of them. These are enterprises where government have shares, 100% ownership of them. And they are set up for commercial reasons, operate profitably, pay dividend to government, let government get money to provide public goods and services. So they are in one category. And then we have 46 joint venture companies. And these are enterprises where government have part ownership of. So with private sector partner or some investor, government owns some enterprises. Okay, so that is also in another category, 46 of them. And then 77 entities that are in they may be regulators, quasi-regulators, and so like NPA, Land Commission. Government didn't set up these entities for profit making, but they are to provide services to facilitate private sector performance itself, or to deliver services to Ghanaians and Ghanaian enterprise and individuals. So these three categories make up 177 enterprises, and they have been there when Ministry of Public Enterprises wasn't there, and they have been oversighted by existing institutions, either by way of ministries, Ministry of Finance. If it's ECG, it's being oversighted by Ministry of Energy, by way of policy, guidelines and directions and so on. They have had their management, they have had their governance systems in place until this ministry was established. Do you understand? Yes. So you just have to understand that once they were all being owned and governed prior to establishment of this ministry, there would be some institution in existence playing the role which we have been asked to do or SIGA, State Interest and Governance Authority, were doing that before the ministry got established. Don't forget, this ministry is new creation.
Yes.
So, understandably, when you are to do what somebody else was doing initially, you may mistakenly describe it as you are eating into, or jumping into, or interfering into. You get it?
Yes.
But this is an institutional arrangement. This does this. SIGA is backed by this law. This law mentions a minister to play a certain role. Ministry of Finance administers the Public Financial Management Act and also has covered entities specified. This has specified entities. You get it? And it is the same state-owned enterprise. So the delineation of roles is clear.
Okay.
So it is not a case of confusion as misunderstood by some people. Everything is clearly outlined, and everybody's role, Ministry of Finance's role, Ministry of Public Enterprises' role, sector ministries, their roles are clear. But the beginning of everything, some of these things comes by way of understanding, consultation.
So I'm sure you've heard meetings.
Exactly, I meet
ministers. But do you miss the Ministry of Energy?
Ministry of Energy, I haven't met them. I haven't met Honorable Matthew Opoku.
I mean, do you miss them?
Do I miss?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Do you miss them?
It's another work. Another work. I played my role there. So, to the extent that every work I've done in the past, from lecturing to consulting to any work I've done in the past, I miss it. You get me?
Yeah.
That is me, because when I go into work deep. So
for how many years do you work as Deputy Energy Minister?
For 4 years.
For 4 years.
Yes.
So were you there when the PPA agreement with the GBGC was abrogated? Were you there?
I was there, yes.
You were there. So you were part of those who...
no, I wasn't. It was a cabinet decision the minister, the minister then implemented. But the implementation, I wasn't part of it.
Did you take responsibility for that?
Responsibility in what sense?
As in, you were there, but you're not in cabinet, but...
No, I rather take responsibility as a Ghanaian.
Okay.
And I would take a responsibility as a Ghanaian. I would take responsibility as a member of parliament. I would take responsibility as member of executive. I would take responsibility as a concerned Ghanaian citizen. Responsibility I take in one sense, the sense that you, me, all of us, watched one government sign power purchase agreements that were unreasonable, and we didn't do anything. Some of us signaled when I was sitting on Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament. We signaled these things, but you did not highlight it for Ghanaians to understand that somebody is taking a decision hanging Ghana's financial situation and killing us, victimizing Ghana. You didn't highlight it. Do you understand? So all of us have responsibility in that respect. Maybe I didn't speak louder enough to convince you that somebody is creating a problem for Ghana's future of energy. Today, you and I have that responsibility because solar technology is available cheap, but we have dipped our hands into commitments in energy power purchase agreements, which is disallowing us from deploying cheaper solar for you and I to enjoy.
So
do you understand? Do you understand? So you also should take responsibility.
So when the opportunity came for salvaging or at least getting some of the funds, and those who were in charge, those who could do that, couldn't do that to the best of their abilities. Isn't that also
the best
something that needs to be looked into?
Listen to this. When you are driving a car, you drive.
Yes, I drive.
You drive. Okay. when you are driving a car and your tire bursts and you get involved in an accident and they say take responsibility, would you be happy to take responsibility? The tire burst. I said the tire, not that you recklessly drove. Anytime a litigation, legal issue comes up, and there is indebtedness crawling out of it, you know, you can have the best of intentions and something will slip, and then what happens? It's lands in court, and then you are pronounced maybe guilty, and some cost is awarded when you had good intentions. You understand? The GPGC, if you want us to go deep into it, I would say a government that has saved this country colossal monies, which we would have, which we were paying. Don't forget, Minister of Finance was in Parliament and said 2017 to date, we've paid unnecessary $930 million to electricity we did not use. If you are crying about GPGC, that is what to cry louder about. We have paid $930, almost $1 billion, free, but you are not crying. A step that was being taken to curtail that unnecessary payment. Some successful, few slip, one slip, and then you are crying. Then your decision frame, I don't understand how you make decision. Do you understand? Because the payment is ongoing, free, and then somebody takes steps to stop. Some successful because it's a lot. And one slips, and you are crying over that one. You are not praising the person for.
So you think the slip should
I'm
be
saying
accounted for?
Listen to this. That is why I'm saying, if you are accounting for the situation, account for it that a colossal sum has been saved. A debt has come. So what's the percentage? So as you talk about the slip, talk about the achievement. Do you understand? Talk about it. Talk about it. Don't leave it. Because I know that if your kid in the house writes examination and he gets 97%, you won't be highlighting the 3% he failed.
I think a lot of parents will do that.
Highlighting the 3%.
100.
Then that is a bad parenting.
But I think that's a society we are in where everybody would urge everyone on.
I'm drawing attention to the bigger picture.
Definitely there were some wins. But we have to also look at the losses.
Necessary.
Yes.
I'm not saying it is not necessary. It's necessary, but I'm saying that we should take the losses in context. That it wasn't a partying. We weren't on a frivolous freak. And that came. You were implementing a solution. And that came out of it. We were implementing a solution. I hope you get me.
We'll talk more about that later. We'll
you don't want to.
And then we'll come back to Public Enterprises Ministry. So this is a lowdown. My name is Niako Ismail. We'll be back after this break. You are watching the lowdown. My name is Niako Ismail. We are speaking with the Minister of Public Enterprises, Mr. Joseph Kudjo. So you are giving us a very interesting and exciting analysis of the situation around the judgment debt issue at the Energy Ministry. But we are now at the Public Enterprises Ministry. Yeah. You've already told us how you have about 177 state-owned enterprises.
No, 177 specified entities.
Specified entities.
Including state-owned enterprise. State-owned enterprise has a definition.
Okay.
That is, those commercial enterprises government has 100% ownership of.
Yes.
There are 52 of them.
Okay, so which ones are in critical condition right now that needs emergency treatment and emergency work to be done on them?
Hey, the way you are talking about critical condition is like ICU.
It's more than ICU. We need to make money as a country.
Exactly, we need to.
Yes.
We need to. If we say which ones are in critical conditions, I must say, to the extent that some have problems requiring capital injection, which, if done immediately, will help. Others have also been needing support for a long time. But I say it's an opportunity that is presenting itself today. Whether the company is in a loss making and is seeking a turnaround, or that is as a result of market conditions or competition out there, or lack of capital investments, and it's not able to explore its potential, or it's been defunct and requiring revival to start operations and engage people. One thing remains clear to this government, that it is looking at the productive asset base of the country in a complete picture. That from the private sector, government is doing 1D, 1F to add a lot of productive assets which are owned by private entities and getting government support. Objective is to make Ghana a production economy so that we can manufacture, produce, and export. Okay, that is one side of the story. But to make it complete, the state-owned enterprises in the system should also function and add. Then in that case, job creation will be massive. Because when the state-owned enterprises and other specified entities are operating profitably, efficiently, and they are expanding or growing, jobs come along. Just like when factories are being established by the private sector under the 1D, 1F program, then we have many enterprises that are growing the economy. So it's a complete picture from that perspective, which the president envisions and he's rolling out. So critical condition, yes, some are in critical that need for support.
When you talk about 1D, 1F,
all of them together.
When you talk about 1D, 1F, one that comes to mind, everybody sees everywhere, a confit juice. And a confit juice and the factory, we are not seeing the sugar. Is it in critical condition as well? I know it's a public-private partnership.
A confit juice, if you say we don't see the sugar, I don't understand.
So some journalists...
just when Saturday I drank one of their products. So the product is on the shelf.
So the drinks are on the shelf?
Yeah.
But the sugar that we're expecting to get...
No, a confit juice, I don't know whether it's a private enterprise.
Yes.
Forgive my ignorance. I don't know what the private entrepreneur seeks to do, whether to produce the juice. But if you are talking about Commander Sugar Factory, which is different from the confit juice.
Exactly. Thank you for bringing my mind to that. So Commander Sugar Factory, that's what I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Yes.
As for Commander Sugar Factory, it's part of the mess. You are talking about PPA, Power Purchase Agreement, but Commander Sugar Factory is in the same category.
Yeah.
That time when a certain government was spending our valuable dollars doing things that are not productive, we didn't take responsibility. But all of us as citizens should take responsibility. Now, my business understanding says that a factory that is based on any factory that is going to manufacturing should define its raw material base and make the raw material available or near available before you put the factory down, before you set up the factory. That's the iron and blocks and concrete structure with electricity that is going to whether mill or you should know the raw material. This is the only country where a government can set up a factory, put this there, and the raw material is yet to be grown. I know a certain musician, he does this, and we all understand. When he does this, we understand. That you put a factory there, and then now you are going to grow sugar.
So it was a mess, you call it?
Just like the PPAs, we are trying to correct.
Yeah. So do you think it can be done within your tenure?
At that Commander Sugar Factory, if you ask whether that can come under my tenure, maybe you are asking me if I'm going to grow the sugar cane. you understand?
It, since you are bringing the solutions.
No, I will say even the feasibility, whether the Commander area, the land there, as in the past, supported sugarcane plantation, the capital for it, should it be government money instead of the roads? The road in front of your house may require construction or redevelopment. Whether that money should be used to go and grow sugar for the factory, healthcare, the schools, all those investments where government should commit to providing public support, whether we should stop it and then go and grow the sugar. Those are choices that you will help to make, but you can advise. Should we go and grow sugar and not do the roads?
Well, it's for you to say. You are not in power.
But no, we are in power. You put us in power.
Yes.
Should we?
I'm not going to answer that.
Very good.
Yes.
So make the decision. But the point is that rational decision is every day being made by this government. So one way to look at it is that are there private investors who want to take up that space? Individual farmers were growing their own sugarcane and supplying. I understand at a point in time, the price they were being paid were too low. So their production was not incentivized enough because of the low price. But whatever the problem is, I believe one day we'll focus on that and deal with it here.
So in your books, which enterprises are doing so well right now that you think deserve some applause?
Oh, okay. Interesting. If I should name some enterprises, I will readily, those I have visited when I took over, when I listened to their success stories, it's so encouraging. I visited NAFCO, National Food Buffer Stock Company Limited, and surprisingly, a loss-making company until 2017 when this government came in power. From 2017, they embarked on a turnaround, and it's a success story that today they're able to report profits. Very, very wonderful when I listen to.
You have an idea of the profit or not?
The profit level, however modest, $4 million Ghana cedis profit was, I think, very decent for a company that is to operate, to make break even, so to speak, because the whole thing is to off-take the produce at the farm gate and make sure it is delivered to the market and to the end user at competitive prices. So that profit motive, like the private sector commodities trader, is not what drives them. But to be able to even break even would have been a successful story. But to make profit is even a very more exciting story. And Bost too, very interesting. I know, you know, that I know, that you know, that Bost, when you mention Bost, it is a mess of a company. Today, you listen to the financial story of Bost. They have turned around, loss-making entity, and they are looking upwards to even expand their facilities. It's no longer the loss-making entity. Again, Ghana Gas have visited also, and they've also done very wonderfully well by way of the fact that today the whole facility is 100% Ghanaian managed. No Chinese support.
That's Ghana Gas?
Ghana Gas, 100%. And looking forward to even developing a second gas processing plant. You understand, and they have become a pillar of Ghana's gas industry and the anchor to development of the gas industry of the country. So these entities, Ghana Water, I visited them. They have a lot of challenges because a lot of their facilities, some of the pipelines are as old as 50 years. Can you believe it? They need investment. So we compiling, in fact, what we're doing is that there's a whole comprehensive study ongoing, and we are tabling each challenge and then suggest the solution, and then we take up the implementation in a whole program.
I know some of these solutions have to do with money, and loans have become something that a lot of Ghanaians keep questioning. Why do we keep going for loans and we are still spending in other ventures when we know we need the money? Do you think these companies could fetch us some money that we could look inward eventually?
Interestingly, when you talk about loans, unfortunately some of us that are coming from investment and finance background, I see loans as very interesting phenomena. My understanding of loans is that is financing for if you have more than what you need. If you have more than what you need, then you are investor. But if you need more than what you have, then you go in as a borrower. Because in this system, in the world market of finance, there are two players: those who have more than what they need and those who need more than what they have. Ghana, if you think we have more than what we need, then cancel loan. Do you understand? If that is what you think. But we don't. So one solution to help our situation is loan. If I have sat and condemned loan for a certain purpose. For example, you take loan and you say, I have borrowed for a confirm, and then we can't find a confirm. You have brought debt on us, and there is no a confirm to pay the debt. That is to grow and pay the debt. Loan in itself is not a bad thing. It is what you take the loan for that makes it problematic or not. Because if I have an opportunity to take a loan, listen to this one. If I have an opportunity you give me opportunity today to take a loan and buy a house, $100,000, and 1 year later sell the house for $300,000 and pay interest, $30,000. It means from today and 1 year, I have a debt of $130,000. So if I sell the house for $300,000, tell me it is not good to take a loan. Can you convince me? But people are taking loans and generating wealth. Very often when you talk about Dangote, the kind of things you're taking, do you know how much he owes? We talk about it as if he's taking his pocket money to do it. Do you understand? But it is because the money is being used for production, expansion, growth, profitability. You are clapping. But it is loans. So it depends on what we take loans for. Do you understand? It depends on what we take it for. So our conversation in the podcast space and the comments we make should let our eyes follow whether the loans are being used productively, or they are being accumulated and withered off. But this government, I know every loan that is being taken, it is to save a situation or create an expansion in some venture or some infrastructure of the country. And one other thing is that the cost is not bloated. That is also sometimes what kills the support for a government to take a loan. That if I'm to buy this $1,000 and I come and tell you, and you know it is on the market as $1,000, and I come and tell you I'm buying for $10,000, do you think when I'm taking loan to buy, you'll be happy? So those are the reasons why it makes loan discussions become like loans in themselves are not good. But I'm telling you, wealth is created on the back of loan more than on the back of equity. That is own money.
We'll go on this break, and then when we come back, you'll tell us if the $28 million car loan is productive or not.
That's right.
We'll be back. There's a lowdown. Welcome back to the Lowdown. My name is Ni Akwe Ismail. Akwe, we are talking with the Minister for Public Enterprises, Mr. Joseph Kujo. So we're talking about loans, and then I brought in the issue of the car loan that was discussed in Parliament by the Finance Minister yesterday, $28 million for MPs, which means every MP will get, I think, around $100,000 for a car. Do you think that's productive?
Oh, okay. $28 million for 275 MPs, members of Parliament. Wa East, there's Wa East, Yagaba Kubori, but Parliament is in Accra. So the guy needs a car that will drive. Okay.
He has a car already.
Oh, you know him?
I don't know him.
The car he's
using. But I know every MP has a car. Unless
are you saying
unless
MPs
you mean
MPs
are you
saying
cars?
MPs are born with cars? I mean, I don't know.
I'm trying to speak for the layman out there. They say MPs, we see them with all the noise, beating traffic, and then they still want cars.
I understand you.
You are in Parliament, so you can best
an MP. I had a car.
Yes.
I have, but it doesn't mean MPs are born with cars. For us to say, I know some became members of Parliament. They were renting cars. Okay. Because the distance, you know, if you are a young man like yourself, you know, to be a member of Parliament, you know the qualification.
Yes.
Yeah. Fortunately, our constitution provides for opportunity for the youth to also participate in governance to the level of member of Parliament. So a young man, maybe a teacher, in a certain secondary school, you have the aspiration, you want to contribute to community development. You have some VWB Golf 3B. That's in that community, you can drive. And all of a sudden, because of the servitude that is seen in you, you are appointed as a member of Parliament, you are now in Accra from Yagaba Kubori. Are you going to speak, you sitting there, are you going to speak against a government that says this young man should be supported with this car so that his constituents who want to see him as often as is possible, you say he should use his VW Golf 3 from Accra, Parliament House, and drive weekly to Yagaba? So I'm trying to paint a certain picture that if you take somebody like me to make the decision, you have it wrong. Because the 275, not all of them are like me. Are you getting my point? There are young, dynamic members of Parliament. There are also even who have worked their life out, retired, maybe a retiree, teacher, or a retiree worker somewhere, but want to serve the community. He finds himself in Parliament from Upper East, from Tamale, from Western North, somewhere. But he's in Accra now. The constituents want to see him. They want to see him. So let's be objective in these matters. Are you getting me? Whether the need exists or it does not, How often do you want to see the member of parliament here when we vote for him? He will tell you maybe every day. So if the MP reduces it to weekly or fortnightly, and you say that vehicle that is durable enough and will not break down 1 a.m. along the way, or will not expose him to those, and in some Ghana, we haven't developed all our roads. You know, some terrain, very terrible. And he has to still visit all these communities. So the need there, looking at what personally I experience, looking at what others go through, anytime we have opportunity to go for a funeral somewhere, you see the harsh conditions, the need is there. For me, even as government tries to solve the need, the government has not made it a gift. Government has made it a loan to the member of parliament. And so if your salary is 10,000 a month, they will deduct the repayment from it. Do you understand? It is a loan. It is not a gift.
So you have the right to reject it?
Yes.
Okay.
But everybody needs it. So I haven't seen somebody reject it.
Are you going for it yourself?
Yes, in my case, I need it. I need it. So I didn't say I wanted to. I said I need it. So
you drive it to
Efia constituency.
Yes.
And this is one of my constituents. You should show the camera. It's one of my constituents. Ask him whether I need it or not. He will tell you, yes, I need it. Are you getting me? Because I go there. Sometimes you set off from here 12 a.m. to beat Kaswa traffic, and then on the way.
So how often do you go to your constituency?
I was doing weekly until I took up this position. This position came along with other jobs, other work to make you even busier. Likely to have been honored as a member of EMT, the economic management team, and then there's still a member of parliament, still serving on parliamentary committees. Now, as you said, the problem you are dealing with in the ministry, so I'm unable to do the weekly trip again. But once I set things up properly here, then I have to restore to the weekly or maximum 2 weeks or fortnightly to visit the constituency, because the constituency has its own challenges as well. A lot of problems to deal with. A lot of young men requiring your support, requiring your advice and direction. And the more you interact with them, the more you're able to guide their future and develop them. So
I was going to say that it would have been a disservice if you don't go to the community and you focus on this work. And you said, well, after some time you'll be going to deal with the issues.
No. It's initial stages where you have to put administrative system and policies. So it takes more effort. So it is only up to this initial stage. But sooner than later, and I mean very soon, I'll restore myself to the weekly visits.
So how do your community, constituents, how do they see you and your work? Are they satisfied? I know they voted you and retained you, but are they satisfied deep down from your perspective?
Yeah, very satisfied when it comes to constituency work. But this work, it is even this interview that will highlight it to them. Are you getting me? Because this work, it's new. It's a new ministry. It's not like an existing ministry where somebody has an idea already what you're doing. But for this interview, which is part of highlighting the work and the challenges, and they will see what I'm doing here too. But as for the constituency, I would crave your indulgence, and you go in, and then you find out my works in there. you'll be amazed. Yeah.
We'll do that. And what is your KPI in the ministry? I mean, after you took up the job, what should we use to measure your performance at the end of your mandate?
At the end, for me, the simpler one, the simpler that can be viewed and judged by the public as how we would envisage, how we will see the public enterprises. Will they continue to be characterized with the challenges, the low profitability, non-profitability? Are you getting me? And whether the situation as we met will continue, or whether at the end of the day, you and everybody else listening would now be aware that the public enterprises, as we know them, are a very important source of potential government funding, or they will continue to be a challenge to Ghana's budget. Today, they are a challenge to Ghana's budget, because whereas we are looking for money to do roads, hospitals, schools, and so on, the public enterprises are also looking for money. Meanwhile, it should have been the reverse. Government as a shareholder and owner of companies, the companies must have been operating profitably and paying dividends. Do you understand? So at the end of the day, we'll be able to see how many are paying dividend now. Are you getting me? How many are paying dividend now? How many are expanding? How many defunct have been resuscitated? How many? So those things will be part of the conversation. So even off paper, that conversation would enable you know the key performance indicators, understand it. Are you getting me? Yeah. But technically, at the technical level, there's board of directors. There are instruments being developed, code of corporate governance and compliance of the boards to them. There is company evaluation reports that are done annually. Today, of the many public enterprises, I know some 63 have responded by way of information too. So all those at the technical level will be part of the conversation. That's how many boards were in compliance with code of corporate governance, how many. So we'll see. We'll see.
Who will assess you in 2024?
At the technical level, we will see.
Yeah.
You will do what?
Who will assess you in 2024 and then see how good you've stuck to your words and how good you've performed in the ministry. So we would like to have your final words before we end the program.
My final words, you assess me in 2024. You are behaving like you are the president and that you appointed me.
Well, we appointed.
And give me assurance that I will be here up to 2024.
We elected the president.
Okay. So, my final word is that I need your support. Like, if I say I need your support, I mean need your support to bring public attention to public enterprises. Because when we engage in a lot of conversation about them and highlight their performance, those that are doing well will be encouraged to do more. Those that are not doing well will be motivated to set up and do better. The benefit will be to all of us. And they won't be competing for funding from Ghana's budget. Then government will have the financial leverage to attend to the public goods and services we need. The roads and the schools. And are you getting me? So let all engage in this conversation from time to time, and sometimes even zero into the individual entities, so that we'll be able to uplift all of them. because a lot of the CEOs are doing their best. Some need encouragement, some need motivation, and so on.
Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph Kujo. We need more money, so we wish you luck, and we hope everything goes on successfully. We've been watching The Lowdown. My name is Ismail Akwe. Watch us every Monday on all of GhanaWeb's digital channels. Be safe.
Powers and principalities. There's so much fire inside me.
Tragedy struck when part of the largest hillside at the kosher rubbish dump collapsed.
It's going to be fun to see how he goes about approaching this game.
We table issues relating to the arts and entertainment for a riveting discussion, of course, without fear nor favor.
The question the presenter asked them was a dumb question. You need to speak the fact and move.
Varied views. We agree to disagree.
So I would disagree with everything you said. I think that he's a smart guy. I think what he did.
No, but I also said he's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I guess that I'm waiting for the what next. Yeah,
I don't think that we have to wait for what next.
It sometimes gets confrontational, but that's the beauty of the game.
It's not my brother. I don't know him. You don't know funny face. It's not my brother. You don't know funny face.
It's a package. We meet, we sit, we dialogue, we learn, we progress. My name is Benefo Wabin Abrantepa, a proud blogger, and this is my forum.
Continue thriving and obviously achieve higher, and everybody knows that even though I'm not working with them again, but my personal relationship with the owner and many of the management and the staff, it is where my heart is. So I wish them very well, but I'm sure that even without wishes they will still do very well.
renowned DJ and one of the powerful forces projecting Ghanaian music in the country. He has worked with several Ghanaian artists. Notable of them are Tiny and Castro. You must have heard his voice or his works on radio, but how well do you know this man in person? Now, let's unravel our guest after this quick breather. You are watching Talkatainment, and I am your host, Elsie Lama. That was our guest right there, giving us a nice display of his crafts. DJ Ashman.
Yes, Elsie.
You have worked with Xylophone Media for 3 years.
Yeah.
And then some say you quit, others say you were sacked.
I know.
What's the story?
Oh, it's not a long story and it's not a short story. You know, Xylophone Media, I started with Radio 360 actually. That was 102.1, owned by RLG. So when the transition came from Radio 360 to Xylophone, I joined because I was the only DJ with them then. So I worked with them for 3 years, and you know, man must move on. You can't put your eggs in one basket and be at the same place, Charlie. You get bored. And me, I don't like doing the same thing all the time. I need challenges. So one day, though there's 1 or 2 HAs here and there, but I don't think that's the main reason why, because I already wanted to move like a year or 2 ago. So the challenges were just building up. I said, well, let me just
Can you tell us some?
Oh, it's one of those things with radio stations, you know, time, and as a youth in this country, like I said, you can't put your eggs in one basket. You have to do other stuff that will put food on the table. You can't just put all your eggs in one basket and then just radio. No. I have other things that I take care of, and the radio is not permitting me to do that. So I think I have to just.
Oh, the radio was not fetching enough.
Oh, it was. Oh, come on, it was. Even the COVID season, no gigs, no hard movement there, but the radio was taking care of 1 or 2 things. But I think I like I said, I feel bored when I'm doing one-way stuff. I want to move on and do other things, so that's why I gave up. Yeah, but I still have good relationship with them.
Oh, okay. You go there often?
Not going there, but we talk and all that. Yeah.
What will it take to get you back on board at Xylophone FM?
Oh, Xylophone. Hey, this question. I'm sorry, but with Xylophone, I don't think I'll go back to Xylophone.
Why?
I don't know. The passion and the love for Xylophone FM is no more there. And me, I'm driven by passion, not because of money. You know, I just want to leave a certain name. Not based on they'll pay me this and that. No. I just have some passion, and the passion that I had 3 years ago is not, I don't have it now. So I don't think, if I go there, I may be cheating myself, because inner me, I'm not feeling the whole thing. So I don't think with that.
So no matter the amount of money they pay to get you back?
Oh, money is money, yes. But like I said, it's passion and the love. You know, sometimes you be, child, I wish I could be with this media house or be on this radio station. Yeah, child, I love this station. But at the moment with Xylophone, I'm sorry. I don't think so. Yeah.
Adam, Obi or Bibi or Juana?
Oh, yes, so behind Bibi and I said Bibi. No, behind me, but one say, I will be a human who appreciate one say, over me Kasa. Oh no. One thing I have learned in life is we don't shut the door that has been opened for you before. What I say. So, like I said, we still have good relationship. To me, can't be brave, but we don't any problem. They are Nana Pia, Abigail, all the people that they are my people.
Your works were not appreciated enough.
That's what I think. That's what I think, because I was with them. We started everything. I was playing 12 hours a day. And every DJ, when you play your first 4 hours, jam. The other hours, you may go off. But I stood on my ground. I did what I could do. Issues happened. We all know. But I was still with them. I had offers from other places. I was like, no, Ghana for Kasa. Later they will say, Kasa Messina, you know, we're still in the mud or together trying to build it. That's all of a sudden things happened. Man have to take care of family, so you too have to do your stuff. And
let's move away from that.
Yeah, I get emotional when
you are. I can tell. Michael Mensah Ashley.
Yes.
Is your real name.
Yeah. Ashley is my Ghana name. I'm a Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah.
You took the Ashman from Ashley and Mensah.
I took it from the Ashley
and Mensah together. Who gave you that idea?
Well, my family, everybody is Ashman. Because we are so and so Mensah Ashley. So and so Mensah Ashley. So actually my uncle, he's late. He has companies, he has shops and all that. In the shop, Ashman Enterprise. Ashman this, Ashman that, Ashman that. So when he passed on, I realized the name Ashman, we were not using it. Already they were calling me Ashman. But already my friends were calling me Ash. When I started the DJing back in the days, Ash. Alright, the Ashman, no more so, and they are more pair now. Okay. I want to go official, like, so let me just get the name. So somewhere 98, I remember. 98.
Yeah, when you.
Oh,
you don't want to tell us, but I can tell.
Oh, me but like I said, Mr. Tintem.
Okay.
Mr. Tintem. Cry. Na me what be 8-9 years. Na me born. Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, let me take that Ashman, like the men added to the Ash, and it started from then. God being so good, it helped me, because I think I'm DJ so DJ be some meeting and I'm a short, so it makes sense, right? So that's how I got the name.
You've been in this career for over 2 decades. What has been your drive? My drive, like a passion,
A passion, and I like music. I love music. Let me put it that way. I love music. And you more boy, make me decoding you know. What you say? Like if we be releasing you see not the brand or Ash, and you way saying I may promote no, and you way the manual into any see, or the genesis of your production. If I'm there with you. I can tell you what you should add, what you should take out. Most of the songs have contributed one way or the other to making of the songs. So I think I know so come. Sika will be happy, but so we need or donna. Sika ni film bana need years type. So the passion that I have for music as a whole, I know driving me.
Any awards yet?
No, I nominated me baby, but me really back cry that. I don't know, but it's not about the awards. I think I've had an impact in the game. So the any awards will be awards baby, but we need to be able to me put the archive no. Me any problem, me be fine, I like it, but obeji award, but unti me be fan kai ni pan say, hey, me padie where I was say me who see me see. No. Me be, but with that thing alone and for the time, you know, I think my word, no.
Do you think that with all that you have done for the music industry, your efforts have not been appreciated enough?
Yeah. In a way, because you say award schemes in the brain, vote, and maybe obi in Genisika Pudu obi to like invest a vote for Ashman to win this. I don't think so. Be ready, so Baba yes at the moment. I could base it on that. Maybe your competitor have somebody like that. But me, I now we win it. Then the whole world will see say or you could, but that same person would turn the back and then come back to me for some things. And with that alone, I feel cool. Any problem, baby. I've been nominated since Ghana DJ Awards started from day one. In fact, you're pioneers, you know. But me, I'm happy. To be honest with you, I'm not worried about that one. I'm cool.
Yeah, for the Ghana DJ Awards, we'll be delving more into that.
Yeah.
But before then, let's go over to Barbara Boni, who will be bringing us their Discovery segment.
My party the kai, times when we be kiddies, when we go play all day, catch jalebi, ashipakati. When they go sack us, go home, collect one of school fees. When they feel lash us for one of bucks, but still we no go fee. I remember back when we were about 7 years old, much younger, when we would play out in the streets from dawn to dusk. I remember Chaskele, Pilolo, Alikoto. So many things have come and gone, but yesterday's a memory. Make you know if you forget the good old days. Oh no.
So tell us, how did it all start for you?
Well, music kind of started as a way of expression for me as a child. So I would do it for fun, you know. But then eventually I realized I was good at it. So somewhere, I'd say in my teens was when I realized that, oh, perhaps I could really, you know, take this thing seriously. So I took vocal training seriously, and then bit by bit, I found myself, you know, on different platforms that opened the way for me. So yeah, around my teens, and professionally, I would say professionally about five to 8 years.
Oh,
back.
that's very young.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, have you encountered some challenges so far?
Generally, we have issues with structure, you know, so the industry is not really built well to help nurture artists from the underground up, you know. So that's one of the main problems that we have. And secondly, like I said earlier, as a female artist, one of the major challenges I have is how the industry is kind of, for lack of a better word, masculinized, you know. It's that there's an imbalance between female participation and male participation. So there's more male dominance in the area. So it makes it a bit skewed in the benefit of men as opposed to women, you know. Wonder Woman, yes you are. How you did do you wonder no one fi understand the Wonder Woman. What you did do, you do too well. Shine onto the stars, Wonder Woman.
So how do people have access to your music? How do people have access to
I'm everywhere.
She's everywhere.
YouTube.
Okay.
Cueva, Quayba. On major digital music stores. So I'm on Spotify, same name, Cueva. I'm on Deezer. I'm on iTunes. I'm on Apple Music. I'm on Tidal. I'm on Google Play. Or is it Google Music? Charlie. Everywhere
It's
I did
Google
it.
something.
Everywhere I did that. So yeah. And yes, and you can keep up with me on my social media platforms as well. Instagram is Cueva, Quayba. On Twitter is the same thing, Cueva, but you add one to it. And then on Facebook is Cueva Music. So yeah, get in touch. Let's be interactive.
That was an interesting one right there. Shout out to Barbara and her team. Now let's come back to DJ Ashman. We're talking about the DJ Awards when we went on break. So word out there, it's DJ Switch, who came in recent times, who has won a couple of awards. People are saying that with regards to her age and her experience, she's not supposed to be given some awards. You know, taking into consideration the fact that other people have been there before she came. What's your view on it?
Oh, like I said before, you know, it's an award scheme, and whoever is nominated, any category, that person is a potential winner. So with DJ Switch winning the overall, she was in that same category with others. And earlier when I was talking about voting, she may be getting the highest votes, so automatically she can win. But if an award scheme like Ghana DJ Awards want to measure the success of a DJ by the experience, then I don't think DJ Switch will be in that category with those big names or experienced DJs. So to me, Ninti, but I think that you should watch it. The organizers should watch that side, and then